Yeah. Hi everyone, my name's Janet, and I want to introduce you to my twin sister, Judy.
Hello.
And together, Judy and Janet are the Parent Project. It's a period of time for 10 years when Judy and I together, daughter at a distance, which was me, and daughter on deck, which was Judy, were looking after our two parents who were fragile and frail and dwindling. So I called the book The Dwindling, and it's a twin daughter's caregiving journey to the edge of life.
Great. Okay.
So I wanted to start telling you about the memoir by showing you just a few pictures. There's just four of them here. This is a picture of Mom and Judy and I, and we're sitting actually in a care home, and I'm in the blue and Judy's in the red, and that silver-haired lovely lady is Betty, our mother. Here's another picture of Betty. And you're right if you think that's Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta, because Mom did spend a few months working with Mother Teresa teaching English. And she was doing that, Judy, at about the age of 72.
That's right.
It was really only about 5 years before things began to fall apart for her.
Her dwindling began about 5 years later. And it's also interesting that she was about 5 years older in this picture than we are now.
So, there you go. Here's a picture of Fred. Fred's our father. He's wearing his traveling hat there, and that's a big part of Fred's life. His story was different from Mom's, but it was a pretty typical dwindling story, and we tell that too in the memoir. I tell that too. And here's my favorite picture, Judy, the last one I want to show the folks, which is you and I. There we are.
We just turned 40 in this picture.
Yeah. We're coming into what we call middle age. We're at the top of our game. We're happy.
Yeah, careers in full swing and all that jazz.
Yeah, and little do we know that 10 years down the road, things are going to be very different for us as we start to be caregivers in the dwindling. So anyway, I wanted to ask you a question, Judy. Why do you think this kind of book would be important?
Well, one of the reasons is because we're boomers, and our friends and colleagues and some of our relatives are also boomers. And we are either finishing up our caregiving journeys with our parents, or we are not yet into that journey. But we all have stories to tell, and the best thing we can do for each other as human beings is to tell our stories.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, the second reason is because we're pretty interesting. As twins from premature infants right up until now as senior citizens, we've had a pretty interesting life, and sharing a little bit of our story and your story makes it for good reading, I would think.
Yeah, we were the twin team, still are, always will be.
Now, one of the big points, though, is that here we are in our 60s, and what we can give in this book is a little bit of an idea about caregiving, about giving care and receiving care, and about what it's like at the edge of life in our experience watching our parents, and a little bit about dying and death, which is kind of weird to think about, but that's an interesting thing to think about. Important to think about, especially important to think about because we are coming to a period of our own dying and our own death, and we're not afraid to talk about it, and we think that makes a good story.
Yeah, we should be planning for our own dwindling, eh?
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about your book. When are we going to get to read it?
Well, I'm so happy you asked. I want to show you something. This is the Pride and Joy. It doesn't look like much, but it's the manuscript that's ready now and edited now. And step one is to take that to a publisher and see if there's anyone that would help me get that out to the readers. I believe we have a boomer end-of-life story going on here, and or you could say a boomer coming-of-age story.
True.
And
a passage.
And I'm hoping a publisher will want it. But if not, I'll just do it myself, because the important thing is to get it out there. And I'm targeting to get it out sometime in 2017, and if I get lucky, it'll be the spring.
Okay.
So in the meantime, I'm starting to blog, and what I'm blogging about is journeys. And the journey that's on my mind most now is the journey of being that daughter at a distance with my daughter on deck twin, and in the caregiving journey of my father and my mother. But there are a lot of journeys that we take at this age. And I'll be blogging about that and trying to get into the important, really important conversations about what spells quality at the edge of life. What does it look like? What are we trying to achieve in palliative care, in hospice care, in long-term care, even in physician-assisted dying, because that's an obvious new conversation we're getting into.
Exactly so, yes.
So I hope to have it ready to be received by readers. You'll be able to get it on my website, and you'll be able to get it on Amazon, of course. And if I'm lucky and if the publishers agree, I'll be able to get it into bookstores, especially in Canada and Alberta and BC, where the story takes place.
But anywhere in North America, this is a story that crosses all the borders.
Yeah, this is our North American story for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
So thanks for listening. It's been great talking to you, telling you about the book. I'm super, super excited. And you'll be seeing more of me, and you'll see the book sometime in the next year. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.